Welcome everybody to the third period, the only and best and top and still ongoing NBHL official podcast. I am your host, Darren Basmajan. With me, as they were on the last episode you watched, we'll get to why that's the case after, are Vasyl Neshev and Chris Clément. Guys, thanks for being here. Quickly, I want to let you guys in on why there was no episode last week. We actually recorded an episode. It was myself and the commish, Sean Guerrero. And unfortunately, he's good at being a commish. He's actually even good at being an analyst. But as the guy behind the master controls, not so good. So we had no audio. Basically, it was a pure video thing. So if we had lip readers or people like that, then it might have been entertaining. But for everybody else, it was garbage. So we'll manage. We'll figure out a way to get back to those divisions that we covered and didn't get to, one of which was the division I play in. But anyways, letting that one go. Right now, this week, guys, we've got big leagues, so we'll get into it quickly, and we'll dispense with the early pleasantries. We've got the G League, the H League. Sorry, wait, what do we got? G League, H League, and I League. There we go. So, like I said, 3 big leagues here. It's going to be a lot of fun to get through. Before we go anywhere, though, let's give some Twitter handles. At Vasyl NBHL, at Chris with a K NBHL, and at NBHL_official for all general NBHL stuff. And as always, come find me if you have anything to say. Let's start off with the G, guys. 5-point league, 11-team league.
11, that's rare. Haven't seen that very often.
Yeah.
A lot of well-balanced teams here, and it's going to be interesting to see, who actually ends up making the playoffs and how many teams are going to be out by the end of it.
Let's take a look right now. We've got Diamond Hawks at the top spot right now with 9 points. Then we got the Huge Wash-Ups, the Ballers, the Outlaws, the Dream Killers, Fat Roy, all caps lock, I love that. Montreal Rebels, Les Black Clouds, Raiders, Magnum Tattoo Inc., which I don't know if they're like officially incorporated as a hockey team, or are they making revenue off of this? If so, can I find out how to monetize this? Because I think all 3 of us have been captains of teams and put way too much time in it and got nothing out of it. And CTH, bringing up the rear at 11 points, so they're 0-6 right now. Same format as we've done in the past weeks. We'll go with 3 contenders and a dark horse, and then we'll try and tie up some loose ends, if any. So let's start with you, Vasyl. Give me your 3 contenders for the G League.
Okay, well, it's some teams are pretty much halfway through their season now. 6 games played. Likewise, some only have 3 games played, so it's a little harder to gauge. Contenders, obviously, looking at the top of the pack, Diamond Hawks undefeated at 4-0-1, and they have their big scorer, Remo Tarashi, who's been hot since the last few years, and he played a lot this summer.
As far as I can remember.
Yeah, he's always been good, but he seems a little bit more committed recently. And now he's averaging 2 goals a game. His team's undefeated. They're playing great defense, and like we said, 9 points in 5 games. They're a guaranteed contender no matter what. And the other 2 I have are Huge Wash-Ups and Outlaws, who together have a bit of a rivalry going. They played together in the summer, and they're both doing really well. 8 points in 6 games for Wash-Ups, 7 points in 5 games for Outlaws. Both very top-heavy as far as scoring. Outlaws, GF Upe captain, he plays with Stéphane Trudel, and they're always top of the leaderboard here. He's leading the league right now with 17 points in 5 games. Very impressive.
Not a surprise, though, right?
Not really a surprise. We played him so many times. No one really contains him.
Yeah.
And the usual suspects for Huge Wash-Ups, Alex Haddad, captain of the team. He's averaging over 2 points a game, almost 2 goals a game, actually, 13 points in 5 games.
Yep.
And he's got a bit of support there. Dan Guerra, Chris's younger brother, Norair Koulian, also there, 2 points a game.
He loves when you say it, right?
Yeah.
I also just love that an Armenian is doing well, because
always, every time we say
basically at this time of the season, the only Armenian I know who's playing in the NBHL is me, and that's not the same thing. So, moving on.
Yeah, so those would be my 3 contenders.
All right. We'll go to the dark horse after. Let's so first of all, Chris.
Yeah.
I haven't heard your voice yet, so now's your chance.
Still here.
Good. Give me. Do you have the same contenders? Does your list differ a little bit?
My list differs a little bit. Generally speaking, I like this division a lot because there's not too many teams. There are a lot of returning teams. There's a lot of veteran squads that you look down the list. I mean, teams like Fat Roy, Montreal Rebels. These teams come back season after season, so it's really going to be interesting.
Outlaws, all
of them, really. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. On my side, I have Ballers as a contender. Right. For the past few seasons, they've been in divisions where they've struggled maybe a little bit. But I think in this league, looking at the teams that they're playing, I think Matt Butcher's team can definitely make some noise.
And he's leading by example right now, right?
He's always scoring. The guy, you put him in a scoring position, he's going to put the ball in
averaging 2.5 points a game.
And it looks like Sanjay's playing pretty well in nets to start off the season. So they're a contender for me for sure in this league. They're 1 point out of first right now. I see them being right up there with huge wash-ups and Diamond Hawks. I'm not going to surprise anybody by saying Fat Roy I think is going to end up being a contender. I've seen them win championships finishing in the lower half of the division. So Costa does a heck of a job at managing his roster, and I think they're 3-2 right now. They're still above 500 and only -4. So he likes to kind of analyze the teams he plays against throughout the season to have his best team come out.
It's a lot of strategy with Costa. It's often a lot of strategy. He'll get the right matchups, and a lot of the guys enjoy playing for him. So, yes, they might lose a few games in the beginning, but they're always going to be there at the end of the season. I think they're going to elevate come playoff time.
And then finally, I have Dream Killers. I played against this team. I think they're relatively new.
Right.
They've had a couple of pretty good seasons, a couple of weaker seasons, but I think the guys are starting to learn all about what the MHL stands for and what kind of style of game you have to play to win. They have a heck of a lot of skill. I think a lot of them are minor hockey players from I think the north part of the island, Pierrefonds, that area.
Okay, Durheath stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I expect them to do well. They're 4 games played. They're 3-1 right now with a +5 differential and only 88 shots against. So I also remember their goalie being really good when we played them.
Well, that's always a big asset to have, especially if you have a bunch of young running guys. If you have a goalie that could keep you in the game early, and then your energy pays off later on in the game, it's usually...
It's Edmonton Oilers in the 80s style thing. Just forget defense and let Grant Fuhr pick up the slack, right? Yeah.
They do have one player in particular, Jeff Paquette, who completely can run the show from the blue line. So he's a Vezina type player if he's playing defense this season. If you put the guy in forward, he's gonna...
I'm assuming you meant Norris, right?
What did I say?
Vezina.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's blocking shots like crazy, but I don't know.
Let me take a swig of coffee.
Yeah, all right, sure. Yeah. Swig of coffee for the working man. All right, so those are your threes. Let's go to the dark horse now. Vasil, let's go back to you.
I don't necessarily want to pick them as a dark horse, but I know that they're going to turn it around. CTH, Chris, I'm sure you agree.
How?
Agree more. We're looking at this before talking here, and it just doesn't make sense to us that they're 0-6.
They're playing some teams in this division that were in a lower division in the summer with relatively similar points cap, and they made the finals.
Yeah, CTH made the finals.
Against Killers,
in a 6-point league, this is 5, and some of these teams were playing in like a 3-point league, like Outlaws and huge wash-ups. It doesn't exactly add up, and that's why I assume there's going to be a turnaround.
Yeah. I will say the style that they play, though, I mean, they don't rely on a lot of goals. They usually kind of get the bounces to go their way, and they're a hard-working team.
Very hard.
Look at their shot differential. They got 135 for and 139 against.
They're in every game then.
So they're 0-6, but they look balanced from what I'm seeing. I'm really confused. I think we're both kind of perplexed at what's happening here.
So I wouldn't go as far as calling them the dark horse, but I think they are going to turn around and make the playoffs. I don't see them making that big of a splash if they do, but that being said, they should end up in the last 7 games winning a few and then moving into the first 8 spots. But the real dark horse for me, you mentioned him as a contender, Fat Roy, because like we mentioned, Costa's strategy that he brings to every game, every season is just, with this league here, I would say it's unmatched. Other times when they'll play they'll play teams like Piranhas or Terminators where it's pure strategy. They'll keep up. They'll trade off. But here I don't see any of these teams being able to strategize against Costa, and I think that's going to pay off in the long run.
Yeah, especially in a division like this for sure. On my side, I'm kind of torn here between a couple, so I'm just going to mention, if it's okay with you, both real quick.
Go for it.
I got Montreal Rebels as being a dark horse.
Hard-working team, yeah.
They have Shiraz, I'm assuming, playing in nets. He's a good leader on the team, and a couple of guys that can really put the ball in the back of the net. So they're I usually see them ending around this.
Yeah,
like part of the division, like in
4, 5, 6,
something in there, but they usually can do pretty well in the playoffs. I would be surprised if they had a poor season. They're 2-1 right now, right? They played 3 games.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be a team to watch. And then I also took a look at the Raiders lineup.
Okay.
So they have some guys that I've seen play for Sunnyvale Snipers, some guys from Ballpackers. They have Matt LeBranche playing in nets. Yeah, a lot of West Island guys. And Matt LeBranche can steal a game single-handedly.
True.
So I'm looking at them at 1-2-1 right now, -2. Yeah, okay, they're getting outshot, but that's pretty standard for Matt LeBranche's teams,
And they're a few games behind too. I mean, they're so low in the standings, but if they had played both their next games and win them, all of a sudden they're sitting in 5th. Yeah. So they're not discounted at any. But you did mention. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
LaBranche, you mentioned the goalie. I think we have to mention this. We can't not say it. JF Ome playing for Magnum Tattoo, apparently playing on the blue line. getting a point a game. This guy is, well, I'm sure a lot of the viewers know he's one of the most elite goalies we have in this league. And it's just really funny for us to see him play out and actually put up some numbers too, even though his team isn't doing that well.
It's good to see him playing out of nets, but I think looking at their goals against, maybe they should put him in.
Even if they have no points left up front, they could throw him in and they might still have a chance. That's how good he is.
They're scoring 22 goals a game, but they're minus 24, so maybe they make some adjustments on the defensive front.
Yeah, well, maybe he's not that good of a defensive defenseman. Maybe he's more of an offensive defenseman with the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah.
What does he have exactly here? 6 points in 6 games. That's pretty impressive.
That's
with
not
2
too
goals
bad.
from the blue line. That's very impressive.
Yep.
For someone who doesn't generally play out, you know?
That's impressive for anyone. I have 6 points in my career on the blue line, so it's okay. I would take that 6 and 6 easily. I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something clever.
I'm a defensive defenseman, but without too much defensive ability.
I think last time we spoke about the different ways that you can be useful, though.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
A lot of assets
Yes.
to a team.
A lot of criminal activities. Yes. All right. I think we covered a lot, but are there any? I mean, I feel like we mentioned almost every team up till here, but are there any teams that you had something that you wanted to mention going up and down the list quickly? Let's go through
really
it.
quick, and just because I went to high school with almost all these guys, Lee Black Cloud.
Yeah.
Friend of the league, Alex Lutfi, is having a good season for them. 0 goals, 9 assists.
That's not like him, though.
Not like him at all. I mean, no, not like him at all. Usually scores more goals than assists, but at least he's there. At least he's producing. And they're sitting at 1-3-1. No goal differential, 0.
Maybe he's pulling like the Pavel Bure when he was with Gino Ojic. You know, Gino Ojic, just stand at the net and I'll just whip it right off of you, and he's getting all those assists.
Yeah.
You know, it's possible.
It could be that.
It looks here like he's playing with a few guys from Smash Bro, though, like a guy like Christophe Laniel.
I know Christophe Laniel very well.
put
Good
the
friend
ball
of
in the
mine.
net, so
That
maybe
guy's a superstar.
Yeah.
He plays almost no ball hockey. He plays tennis semi-professionally, I believe. And
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Cool.
And he's a great athlete. He played ice hockey, not too growing up. He didn't play on too many teams. Played once or twice, but he's just an athlete.
Yep.
So having him run out there next to Alex Lutfi, who's already one of the fastest guys in the league, 1-2 punch could be very dangerous. With 3 goals, 1 assist in 4 games for Chris, he's a little slow.
Yeah.
If he wakes up, they're going to be.
They got some talent on this team, though. I'm looking at it.
They're hard workers.
Sandreshi, Yannick Peltier.
Yeah.
Francis Vio. There's some good players out here too.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
How about you, Chris? Any teams that you saw from the start that you kind of wanted to mention? I feel like you guys didn't mention much about the Ballers. Is it possible?
He mentioned them as favorites.
A little bit, yeah. Where do you? I don't want to spend too much time because we've gone over everything. But I mean, right now they're ranked 3rd.
They got one of my good friends, Dan Derry, who appears to be showing up. He's averaging 2 points a game, 4 goals, 6 assists in 5 games.
Yeah.
He's great. He's an underrated player. He just sometimes the consistency, he'll miss a few games here and there. But if he's there every game for you, and you got your captain and superstar Matt Butcher producing at this rate, they're going to be heavy favorites. Now, we spoke a lot about them in the summer. That's why they didn't do so well. That's why I kind of don't want to build them
they
up.
They played in our division. Yeah,
exactly, against the lads.
When I saw them play though, and they took out GK Light this summer in a game where they had I think 6 or 7 guys. Yeah. So Jay Secchiano, Kyle Dana,
Jake Omiak,
Costa Anastasopoulos. When these guys are coming out. There's not many teams with that many. Maybe in the B division with teams like Fuel we talked about last week.
Like old vets that really know how to play the game.
In this division, we're looking at them compared to a team like Fat Roy, they seem to be those 2 teams that have the most veteran
experience,
leadership.
Real experience.
So,
not just a championship or 2 championships in a row, but several losing seasons where they don't really mind to lose, but.
They're competitive guys. They don't want to walk over everyone in the league. They wanted that challenge.
Yeah,
they might be a good fit in this league.
All right, before we move on to the next league, give me the 2 finalists and a winner. Vasil, go.
You mean teams as far as making it to the finals and who's going to win it?
That's what I mean, yes.
Okay.
Make some enemies. Let's go. Just quick, what jumps to the mind? Forget analysis, forget your gut.
Wash-ups, Fat Roy wins it. Mini game, second game.
Oh, I like that. He's going in detail here, Chris. Now he set the standard for you.
I'm going to say Dream Killers and Diamond Hawks.
All right,
finals. Yeah,
nice.
And I'm thinking that Diamond Hawks are going to be able to take it out.
Is it Justin Manasseh in nets? Do we know that?
I'm not sure. I can let you know.
Yeah. If it is Justin Manasseh, I can't disagree.
I know all his weaknesses.
Yeah, there's not many though.
No, there's not actually.
Yeah, you kind of just got to close your eyes and pray when you're shooting against him. So it looks like he's got 4 games played here, and then Anthony Ferry's got
the
1.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, Manasseh is going to be a huge factor. Just him and Tarashi together.
I can't see Remo getting shut down by many guys in this league though. So
that's a few guys on Ballers, like we said, are Fat Roy because of the experience. They can recognize how good he really is. But no. Like he's just way too fast.
And Matt LaFleur is a pretty passionate guy, so
he runs good teams.
He'll get the lads all fired up, get the boys going.
All right, G.
Good.
Cross them out. They're done. We made some enemies. I like it. Let's move on to the H League, 3.5 point league. This bit of a smaller league, but we'll still have a lot to talk about. 8 teams here. First of all, we got the Fourth Liners, then Final Boss, which I really do hope that they come in with Final Boss music. Maybe some Robotnik music from Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah, something like that. Old School, Banana Hammock, Guerrier, Black Bolts, GK Smooth, and IGA Dorval. A lot of names that even I recognize, having played somewhere around these levels before. Let's start with you this time, Chris.
Yep.
You hit me with your 3 contenders.
Right off the bat, I mean, not just because they're in first, but because I saw them play a lot this summer in the Q League, I got to go with the Fourth Liners. Mm-hmm. There's so much youth and speed and skill on that team. Their goalie, Kevin Sear, in the summer, if I'm looking at it now, I mean, the guy had a one goals against average and a 92.8.
That's really impressive.
Save percentage.
1 goal against, that's very, very impressive.
They're definitely playing in a lot stronger of a league points-wise. I know that the league managers ranked some of their guys, so they moved up accordingly. But looking at this now, I mean, they have 92 shots against and 156 for. I saw them play this summer. I don't expect them to drop off anytime soon. They're definitely a contender for me. I'm also looking at Banana Hammocks. These are guys we both played a lot against. I mean, whether it's with Bromingas, whether it's with Trailer Park Boys, you really can't say enough about the cohesion and teamwork that these guys bring to the game every time they play. So they're definitely a contender for me as well. I don't know too much. I want to ask you, do you know much about Gary Hayes?
Seem to be an équipe francophone.
Yeah.
But I'm not recognizing any of the names on here, to be honest. A few guys that are doing well. Régis de Gaillande, 6.6 games.
Yeah.
Jesse Barker, 5 assists in 2 games. That could be a big factor for them to move ahead of the pack.
I mean, just looking at the numbers here, every bit a definition of a grinding team, Warriors.
Yeah.
2 wins, 3 losses, 2 ties right on the thing. 25 goals scored, 24 against. Shots, 1 shot difference. And everything is even. Yeah. So basically,
every game is going to be a hard fought game.
That's what I feel like, looking on the numbers. And the commission Master Control is nodding in approval. So I think we've assessed the situation quite well.
In any case, I think my third contender would probably be Final Boss. I'm looking at their roster right now, and it looks like they have a mix of guys from like Hitmen, a couple of guys I see on here from Ruthless, I think, and maybe GRNR.
Murray Glenn Mendoza.
They have some big names on here, so I'm not going to count them out. I think that would be my third contender.
All right. Well, Vasil, agree, disagree?
I'm going to only say 2 contenders because it's a small division. Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more with Banana Hammocks. To me, they're going to be not necessarily top of the standings, but always
they're never low. They're never bad.
No, they never. They don't like to go 10-3, 10-2-1. They just a little bit over 500. Don't scare anyone too much. They make it to the playoffs and hopefully make a big splash. Mm-hmm. But guys like Bobby Sims are producing. They have. I believe they have Chris Fudge back, who's playing at the top of his game right now, and he's huge.
He finally got on the radar.
Yeah?
He's real quick.
He's really good. I played with him in a separate league, and he is so good. His stick is a foot taller than him. It's crazy. First time we saw him play, we're like, buddy, maybe you should cut your stick. It's not ice hockey, Then we see him hit the ball out of the air, slap shot. It doesn't make sense, but he really, really prefers a longer stick. Mm-hmm. But if he's having the season he can and plays all 13 games, to me, he could be a Norris type guy candidate for sure.
Yep.
So they're well rounded. Shot differential looks really good. So obviously they're tight. They're playing a tight defense and putting up some goals, which is good.
Very similar to Fourth Liners, the shot differential.
Yeah. Exactly. So those you could tell they control the game a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily with the goal differential here, but just veteran experience in this case. The other team for me is Old School. Often contenders, played so many years. Dave O'Toole runs that team. I'm pretty sure he's running it right now as well. 3-1-1 +5. Dan Derry, just spoke about him before. He's averaging over 2 points a game here.
They had Matt Abbott at one point too. That was out there.
Yes, a very good friend of ours, friend of the league, coaches the kids with us. Andy Benson knows Matt very well and said he's just started playing last summer. I called him a breakout player on one of the shows before, and he really is.
With Brotherhood in the summer, he had a heck of a season too. He's all over the place.
To me, he was one of their MVPs. If it wasn't the goalie, it was him. Now, if Dan Derry again shows up to a lot of games, Old School to me is the number one favorite ahead of Banana Hammock.
9 points, in 4 games.
Yeah. The guy's amazing.
Yeah.
So you've got an undefeated team right now, and you don't see them as one of your two contenders.
They're young.
What's wrong with being young? Just because we're all old doesn't mean young people are bad.
It's an 8 division team, so they got to play teams twice. They might have played IGA Dorval twice so far. Undefeated team, 5 games in, it looks good, but it might not necessarily be exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Also,
and teams adapt, right? We've gone over that before, but if you play a team the first time, you normally would be able to adapt your roster for the second time around. And even some of the teams, like last time we talked about, like guys like Terminators and Piranhas, you adapt. It's no ball control.
Yeah, exactly. So it could look really well. I mean, I'm not counting them out, that's for sure.
Oh, it sounds to me like that's exactly what you're doing. Vassal just said the fourth liners suck.
They're not making the playoffs.
There you go. Oh, boom! I like it.
No, they're probably going to make the playoffs, and I'm assuming they're going to be good once they get there. But to me,
you're questioning that aspect of the experience versus
the last game was a tie. The most recent game was a tie against Black Bolt. So maybe
the downswing now. All right. Well, we'll have to see. All right. Well,
it's not necessarily that they're not that good to me. That they're not favorites. It's more that I just really see Old School and Banana Hammock.
That's fair. Yeah, you allowed your opinion. I'm asking you to go with your opinion, but now I'm going to call you out on it sometimes too. Yeah. Even if I agree with you, just to make it look good.
Call me out, okay?
Why? Because you're much bigger than me, right? Vassal, at least he's bigger than me, but he's got the knee thing. I feel like I could run away from him, but Chris, it's tight corners. Where am I gonna go? All right. So how about dark horses, Chris? Let's go back to you.
I'm right away just looking at this list. I don't really know why GK Smooth are seventh.
So I was waiting for you to say it.
It's the first time I've seen them in the lower part of the league. They always have competitive rosters. And a big part of that is Chuck Chong's ability to be able to. He's got 3 teams every season, so he can kind of mix and match his rosters and effectively bring out guys that are going to compete every game. Right. So I'm a little surprised to see them down that low. They're -1 though. Like they're still in the hunt. I'd see them being a dark horse team for sure, especially come playoff time.
Darren is probably going to eat this up, and I feel bad saying it, but I'm kind of happy to see them this low. It's a change. They're usually always at the top. They're always favorites. They're always talking about having to find a way to beat them, who they're going to have this week. Well, it's nice to finally see them relax, be at the bottom of the division and have to work their way up to eventually potentially become favorites in the playoffs. Now, that being said, I could see them being a dark horse because they're that good, because they have such a big pool of players to work with. But right now, it seems that they're banking on their top gun, Martin Brière. 11 points in 5 games. That's it's going to sound stupid again, but those are actually slow numbers for him. Usually in this type of division, he'd be putting up even more.
Ripping it up, yeah.
He should have a hat trick a game. He's a really stellar player, incredibly fast, really good hands, great release. He plays in the A, the B, all over. This guy's a superstar. So look for him to elevate his game and get GK Smooth higher up in the rankings. I guess they would be our dark horse, right? I mean, they're the ones we're expecting to do better and should be higher up by the end of it.
If we're going to talk about one guy that could make a huge difference for his team, I'm looking at Black Bolts and Ozair Wahid.
Yes.
So this guy I've seen play on, Asian Express and
Montreal Rebels,
like
teams.
So he's definitely a top tier player in this division. And if his team's going to make a move up, he's going to be the guy to focus on.
Yeah, he's averaging 2 points a game right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he could put the ball in the net a little bit more. He's getting a lot of assists. Hopefully he could, shine and flash and really just...
You saw what Alex Lifty's doing, like it's 0-9. He's 0-9. So
that's true. Yeah, but no, I mean, they're -1. They're 1-3-2 with a -1 goal differential. Being outshot heavily, but, do they have Shiraz in nets?
No, they don't. I'm just looking at their roster right now. They have... they have Sahib Hassan Sheikh playing 4 games, and they have Tamed Zuberi with 2.
Okay,
so I haven't seen him. Yeah.
Okay, well they're
let's Kamish at Master Control is eagerly trying to throw something in here. Why don't you guys turn and look at him? I don't know what he's trying to say.
No, yeah.
Amazing.
He's fantastic. He's amazing. Okay.
There you go. That's what it was. So
well, that explains why they're getting outshot and why they're still in it.
That's why he's the commish.
He has to watch all the games.
He has the intel, boys.
He's gonna throw in like an oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean,
right now, if we're recording already, let's not go with like sound drops and stuff like that. As long as the blue light is on, which didn't happen a few times last week, we're okay. We're okay, guys. Let's not ask too much of the guy. Okay, so your dark horse. You guys are both agreeing on GK Smooth at this point.
You can It's tough not to agree.
No, it's okay. You know what? You guys can agree. It's going to happen from time to time. It's all good. And again, like last league, any teams that are popping out that you did just mention the Black Bolts. We talked a bit about Gary. Obviously, we don't know that much about them just yet.
I'm going to say something about Guerrier, actually. I didn't say it before. I didn't notice he was leading the league in scoring. JP Lafontaine, 12 points, 5 games, 8 goals. He must be the main reason they're doing so well. But if they have a top scorer like that, and how we established before, a grinding team, that could be a great recipe for success in a 3.5 point cap.
Yep.
All right.
I agreed.
So let's do it then. Again, my favorite part of the show. Let's make some enemies. Chris, we'll start with you. Who you got? Give me 2 guys. Give me a winner.
Looking down here. So I'm going to go with banana hammocks and fourth liners in the finals.
All right.
And, despite the hammocks experience and, the respect I have for these guys, I have fourth liners winning this league.
All right.
I saw them in the summer. I'm sold on these guys, man. I think they're going to do it.
He's going youth over experience. Vassal, I know you're not leaning towards that, so who you got?
No. I got GK Smooth versus Old School.
All right. Wow, you're a real big turnaround for GK Smooth.
Like I said.
I mean, you said they're a dark horse, but you're seeing them all the way in the finals.
That's it.
Making it in is one thing, but now you're seeing them turning it all the way to the finals. That's a Cinderella run at this point.
Like I said, I enjoy seeing them this low, but it's not supposed to happen.
Okay.
He made some pretty good predictions in the summer, so
yeah.
I think he's going to make me look silly here.
It's okay, though.
No, I think fourth liners banana hammocks is a legitimate one. I think, if anything, it depends on how the standings finish, and the final four is going to be fourth liners banana hammocks, and then Old School and GK Smooth, or Black Bolts and Guerrier, but I see GK Smooth getting there, and I also unfortunately see GK Smooth beating Old School in the final.
I love the hateful love you're giving towards them. Unfortunately, I see them
successful.
Yeah,
give someone else a chance. You know what I mean?
Maybe people should put together teams designed to destroy them. How about that?
Then they're going to use their pool of players and adjust accordingly.
You take their pool of players. I don't know. Figure it out, guys. Do I have to go slash everyone's tires? Is this what it is?
Gotta close a highway, man.
Yeah, that's not too hard in the city, to be honest. At any given time, 1 or 2 is always close.
That's just the beginning.
All right, so
good.
That's it for the H. Sorry, let's move on to the I now. It's a 2-point league, and this is a big one. 12 teams here, so let's jump right into it. We've got Juggernaut, Hannifix, Chef's Finest, The Mess, Fury, Wolfpack, St. Louis Savage, Brominguez, Tukrush, Beaver Bait, Smoking Aces, and Bears. Honestly, not loving the name selections here. Usually, when we're in this level, there's 1 or 2 that really make me laugh out loud. Step up your game, guys. Let's hockey-wise, you might be good, but I'm looking for better names here.
I'll take offense to that because Chef's Finest is my team. So
yeah, okay. What's hilarious about it? Why should I be laughing while I'm reading that?
There's a lot of inside jokes.
But that's bring me inside then.
It's true.
Okay, maybe you can put like a disclaimer or something on the website. Maybe in the new website whenever that drops.
New website.
Yeah, there's rumors. the mythical new website. All right, let's go. Contenders, Vassal. Let's go back. Swing around back to you.
It's too easy to say, but I'm going to do it anyways. Juggernaut sitting at 5-0 with 25 goals for, 5 goals against. That means they're winning on average 5-1 every game.
Yeah.
Now, what that is right there is my really good friend and captain, Michel Gruszkowski, who's just done a stellar job of managing his roster, his team, getting the right guys unranked. In this case, the league-leading scorer, Manny Schuschhaus, averaging just under a hat-trick a game, with his best buddy, Jimmy Busayas, averaging over 3 points a game. And these guys combined, I believe, are half a point, maybe 0. So when you have guys like that, and then you could balance the rest of your roster with decent unranked guys, or even the right 0.5, or like their goalie. They have a goalie that's 0.5 that's going to steal every game for them.
Bruce, right?
Bruce Coupthwaite, exactly.
Hats off to Mish, though. If
he's been around, right? He knows.
Yeah,
he knows how to do it. He doesn't win every season, so he won with Benchwarmers in the summer, but he's one of those guys that they just like we were talking about Manny last week. They pay their dues. They'll get ranked for a season, not do that well, and then bounce back, go to 0, and then explode, and then you have to rank them at 2, and then go down to 1 and 0.5, 0, and then it kind of. It's cyclical, just like you said last week.
Look at his roster, though, man. Like he's got a guy like Nakul Shahad. I mean, they've got like depth guys like Gary Grant and your buddies that played defense.
Guilbeault and Dufault.
Dufault, the backwards hat.
Dufault, amazing guy. He's really, really, really good. He was ranked a full point. Now he's down to half because he doesn't necessarily put up that the numbers aren't there, but he's great. He's a steal. A lot of the guys on the team are actually a steal. I mean, even Michel himself 6 points in 5 games.
He doesn't stop working.
No, he's one of my favorite guys to play with. I mean, I played with him since my first summer in 2010.
Yeah.
Since then. And he's one of the guys that knows how to find me on the rink with his eyes closed. He could be on the ground getting cross-checked. He'll know where to pass me the ball, you know? Like,
he's spared for the lads at SFU.
Yeah, you picked him up.
He came out and he was like, he's sparing, and he's the hardest working guy out there. So,
he's just a great leader to have.
Yep.
Leads by example, so selfless.
I'm still waiting for my call up to the lads, but I'm just saying. Okay, we'll get there one day. Yeah. Slash enough tires and I'll make it.
I got a game at 10:45 tonight if you want to come out.
No, thank you. I think my young marriage might end if I pull that one off.
To the commission, no more 10:45.
Yeah, that's the kind of favors we get here. For all you who thinks we get big favors, right there is sitting proof. Okay, give me your second team. We've got Juggernaut.
Mess.
Yeah,
the mess, and again, it's just good management.
Yeah.
We know who I'm going to say for the third one, obviously, because again, that's usually my pick is management.
Mm-hmm.
Now the mess is Jeff Howells, most winningest goalie all time. They're sitting at 3-2-1, good goal differential.
Also a friend to the show. He's going to be on at some point in the next few weeks. Yeah.
They're always contenders. Every single time, he's just going to bring out the right guys. If someone's not performing on his team, he's going to tell them, don't show up this week. We're going to bring this guy. We're going to win this game.
He's ruthless.
Oh, I like it.
You know what? It makes you a better player. He'll tell you what you need
to hear to make you compete, make you.
It's a rare thing, yeah, sure.
And he's
depends
not
how he tells you it.
It depends how he tells you. I mean, he's told me a lot of stuff that I've had to, keep my chin up. But he tells you what you need to hear, and it makes you a better player in the long run. So in this case, when he's running his team, it's going to make his team better every time.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to mention quick. It's cool. It's cool. It's fun to see. We were talking to Jeff the other day, and he said, it's rivalry night. We're with Piranhas. We're playing Terminators. This team seems to be kind of a cross between the two. So
right.
They're competing in a higher league. But I know Norm's playing on this team, for example. So
it's all veteran guys. They're going to strategize very well, not just with the roster, but with the actual gameplay. Mm-hmm. And Jeff is the kind of guy, if he thinks that his team has a better chance of winning, if he's not in Nets that game, he's going to go and do that. He's going to sit for his team so that they could do better. Mm-hmm. He'll tell you what you need to hear, but he's not afraid to acknowledge the situation for himself as well. So that's a really good asset to have as far as a captain and a goalie. And to me, that's why they're going to be heavy favorites as well with Juggernaut. Mm-hmm. And third one, predictably so, Chef's Finest, just proper management. Man, no. Hey, you're ahead of the mess in the standings technically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
we had a good game with them. I think we beat them by 1.
Okay, so I would have expected a tie or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's first time I'm managing 2 teams, but it's certainly nice to have guys from lads that aren't ranked that can come in. Yeah. So it's good.
Well, that's why teams like Juggernaut, Chef's Finest, and the Mess have an advantage in this type of division because it's all 3 of you guys
veteran management
teams, veteran management, exactly. Yeah. So
I don't know if I feel good being called a veteran, but at the same time, am I really?
I think you're a vet.
Yeah. I also think the theme of this episode is that Vasil likes older people.
I'm slowing down, right?
Yeah,
I'm getting back on the rink there. I'm a hobbler.
Yeah,
I'm not about speed anymore. It's all about the smart play. And
we'll have the commission put in these guys subtitle.
Yeah, that's it. He's got the Steve Yzerman in the playoffs on 2 torn everything's in his knee thing going on.
But Darren, I do, and I know obviously it's coming out, but I fully agree with him because in this type of division, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. You're right. No, you're absolutely right. Look, I play in just a little bit lower than this. I think I'm playing in the K League right now, but you see the difference that experience plays versus youth. Yeah. I mean, you can have all the fast legs as you want in the world, but if you guys don't know how to play as a team, it doesn't get done. So when you guys have guys who are experienced, but also experienced playing together and also experienced leadership guiding everyone, I mean, it makes all the difference. Yeah. So I think that's why those 3 choices are good. Chris,
I can't.
You got. Obviously, you're going to pick your team.
No, I'm not. Actually,
he's not.
I'm not.
Well, I'm saying your team might get mad at you if you don't. So let's say you're picking your team, but I'm not allowing you to pick your team. All right? I'm helping you out here.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, good. So now give me 3 other teams.
3 other teams.
All right.
My team first, right?
Yes, exactly. There we go.
So I can't disagree with Vass in terms of Juggernaut. It's a lot of skill and experience they've put onto this roster. It's cyclical. Like they've had some guys that are ranked that are now not, which happens to everybody. And they're having one of those good seasons, and you can't say enough good things about Mish. So, I think they are beatable. I think we played them to a 1 or 2 goal game, and I don't know. Like it's going to be interesting to see. I think they're going to finish first in the season, but with Dan Derry and guys like that, if he ends up playing in a lot of games, like Manny, like these guys
Manny has 14 goals in 5 games.
These guys are legitimate veterans. So I think Juggernaut's a huge threat. Played against Handfix our first game of the year, and they traditionally have finished like middle of the pack in divisions like this. But Julien Belzile is a great guy. He's been a buddy of mine since I played with Crazy Canucks back in the day, and they look to be getting it together. Like they traditionally, not everybody seemed to be on the same page when you're playing against them. They have like a really good line and then maybe a weaker line, but their roster seemed to be pretty balanced. They gave us a pretty good beating the first game of the year, so they're going to be my second team.
Mm-hmm.
And then just looking down, I mean, I see Wolfpack down there. These are guys that I managed in the summer. They're kind of like, they have a couple of good players, but they have every guy on the team hates to lose. So like they had a meeting after a game one of the times in the summer where, guys, we got to turn this around. Okay, not to call guys out, but he's like, you guys need to do this. You guys need to do that. Like everybody was like, yeah, you're right. You know, so they all seem to be guys that
get with the program.
Yeah. I'm looking down the list. There's a couple other teams too, but I think Wolfpack are going to make moves this year. A guy like Amit Patel's pretty dangerous scorer.
Sugi Patel as well is really, really, really good. I just wish he'd wear some gloves.
For his own good.
Yeah, for his own good. He's got really good hands, and guys have short tempers. He's just
it's that and guys.
It's an easy solution to guys like that.
That and guys without shin guards. Quite honestly, I don't get it. And I have quite a few on my team, and I'm like, guys, if you get slashed in the shin, like I might give the guy a little shove, but I'm not gonna get in his face. Like it's just not. Wear shin guards. It's not hard. You don't have to wear the big knee pads.
Guys, left, right, and center, and you're not wearing shin pads. It's the first thing. It's the first thing that's going to happen. Accidentally get you in the shin.
As a ref too, I mean, you can't call if a guy's going for the ball.
Of course. It's on you to wear shin pads and gloves.
Get up in the hands, it's something different, but though, like down in the shins.
Or if the guy's going with a two-handed hack, that's a different thing. But if it's just going for the ball, I mean, that's going to happen 15 times a game.
Of course.
And it's always those guys who seem to be cutting towards the middle, right? Putting themselves in that position too. All right, so those are our contenders on both sides. Let's go dark horses. Vassal.
I'm going to go with Tukrush.
All right. Tell me why.
I'm not 100% sure if Louis Verano is playing yet, but he's a guy I went to high school with who was a high-caliber midget AAA player.
Mm-hmm.
And he excels in lower divisions like this, usually ends up leading the league in scoring. I know he's expecting, him and his wife are expecting, so that could be a factor as to why he's not playing, but I'm sure they're going to find a way to qualify him. And if he's there, that's a huge asset for them against all these, I don't want to say inexperienced teams, but there's a few teams in here that have a lot less games under their belt than the Metz, Juggernaut, and Chef's Finest. I mean, Chef's Finest is a new name, sure, but I mean, we could all agree that a lot of the guys have they've been around. Decorated players.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so for me it's Tukrush. Even though they're sitting at 1-3, they just have the -1 goal differential. Their shot differential is actually positive.
Played them last week.
Yeah? How were they?
They were pretty good. We beat them by 1.
Okay.
And Verano wasn't there.
Yeah.
He's there. He's good for a couple of goals.
Oh, at least 2 goals and 1 and 1 at least.
Yeah.
Even if they lose. If they win, you could easily go 3-2.
They seem like are they guys from like Homer Hawks and
it was Dirty Birds.
Dirty Birds, yeah, a team like
Dirty
that.
Birds,
I think, yeah.
with the Penguins logo. Steven Jeté.
Yes, he was there.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
Good. Yeah, I believe he played in the higher leagues with what was that? The Hangovers? No,
one of those clubs.
Yeah. A few summers ago in the B League, there that had Eric Paquin and like you said before, Belzile, those guys.
And all this to say, they're not out of place in this league at all.
No. Not at all.
Because they're good.
No. Go ahead. That was my.
So what's yours, Chris?
So we played Bears. It was a pretty close game. They're in 12th right now and -14, so definitely not doing too well. But this is a team that's led by Erwin Tager. Yeah. So I'm looking at their roster here. Like they have Jimmy Gorel, they have Jean Desrochers, they have Neil Mastriciano, they have Chuck.
Charles Hammock
I
playing. Love him to death, that guy.
And then they got Howard Efros in nets with Joe Cipriano. So I don't know. I don't expect them to. I didn't expect them to be this low right now. I think they're going to be my dark horse team. There's a lot of good veteran presence on that team.
I feel like there's one thing that needs to change, and it's the goals. They've scored 8 goals in 5 games.
Yeah, that's
odd. In this type of division with Jean Desrochers and Jimmy Gorel.
Yeah.
Those 2 alone should
be
having 8
points. And then Brent Tidsley, he's a good player too.
Brent? Okay, that's
normally he's like a 1 to 2 point player game. He's got 1 in 5 games.
Played against him for years with silent attack, and he's very smart. He'll shut anyone down on the other team too. He knows how to cover. The guy plays center, he wins draws, and he freaking back checks. He's a great asset to have on any team, and you're right, he will put up that 1 point, maybe a little bit more every game.
There's another team I wanted to mention too, like almost identical roster. I'm not identical, but a lot of the same guys to Banana Hammocks, Bermingas, yeah. We tied them.
They have 3 ties. Ugh.
I know you don't like that. Yeah.
Who likes that? Tell me a person who likes a tie.
Listen, man.
I know. I'm sure the league doesn't mind because they don't want to go to overtime and shootouts and stuff like that because that stuff will start screwing with the schedule and everything. But I'm saying beyond that, find me a player who likes a tie, and I don't want to play with that guy. Just putting it out there. I know you guys are like suit and shirt guys, so maybe you like actual ties, but not hockey ties.
We're all business, Darren.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, all right. So, you can continue on your topic with the Bromingus. Yeah.
I mean, in this type of division, he takes 2 shots a game. That's 2 goals. You know.
Yeah.
He's 3 goals, 2 assists in 3 games, and that could possibly be from the blue line. So you never know.
And anyways, 3 ties. Look, it could have just easily be 3 wins, right? I mean, it could be 3 losses too. But I'm saying they're not that far from being one of the top teams. So
I don't know if it's the fact that I played against him, but I maybe tried to emulate him that game. I actually had 2 goals, which is 2 goals, only 2 goals I have all season.
Wow.
One of them would be on the PP from center breaking the red. It curved in
the red.
Yeah, the red line.
Wow.
So
you never. I don't think I've ever seen you shoot from there.
The big boys were out shooting. I wanted to see what I could do. It was fun. Yeah.
maybe you should add it to your arsenal.
Maybe I should, man.
You should. You have a heavy shot, Chris.
Yeah,
Your
just gotta hit the net,
playmaking
though.
abilities are a little over
hit the
par,
net.
so it's kind of hard to choose a shot. Me, it's the opposite. I don't pass that well, so I just head down, miss the net. Every 5, it'll hit the net.
Or you go bar down. One of the
Well, that's
But Eric's a really good player, and from what I've seen so far, I mean, he plays with his heart on his sleeves. So,
always very emotional, but in a good way. I've very rarely seen him lose
I've
it.
seen him this season a couple of times. So
This
he's
season,
got
I've seen him 5 years
It's
ago
weird to see.
once. It wasn't pretty, but he contained it after, and I hadn't seen any mishap since then. But I mean, if the guy were to get angry, he could literally hospitalize someone every game. That is one of the strongest people I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Not someone you want to be battling in the corners with.
He's a nice guy, though.
Yeah,
he won't slash you. He won't cross-check you. But if you're between him and the ball, I mean...
he's got to go where he's got to go, right?
Exactly.
Any teams we haven't mentioned? I mean, you guys still haven't mentioned the Fury. You haven't mentioned St. Louis Savage.
For me, there was one of the best guys in the league every season is Lindsey McLean for Fury. I'm looking right now. He's got 10 points in 4 games. I'm sure Hugh loves to have him on the team.
Chance,
But then there's that drop off, right? He goes to 5 from there. So
Andrew Thomas.
They like to play in the lower. Andrew Thomas is good too, but they like to play in those divisions where it would be interesting to see if they went up to like a 5 and then maybe added a few more players because the last few seasons have been, I think, in some of the mid divisions.
You know, I've played against Fury very many times. They're often in the same division as benchwarmers, but they seem to always just want to keep the same guys. They'll add in this case, they have Andrew Rufan. They've added Mike Rufan, Prince Rufan. Like
played
those
with
guys,
Hunters back in the day. Yeah,
those guys are good.
Yep.
If they were to add like all those guys at once and go to a 5-point league, it would be beautiful.
Eric Bouchard, Tasso,
hard worker. Tasso's a great defenseman. Keith Lake.
Yeah.
Is he playing Keith? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah.
But Lindsay every year gives me a run. Like he's always in the top 5 scorers.
Like not a flashy guy, but just buries the ball every time. So
I mean, he's a little deceptive. He wears the full cage, and he kind of like he's
smaller.
not
flashy. He's not flashy, but he gets the job done.
He's so fast.
So what is it about this team? I mean, you guys are saying lots of good stuff about them. What is it about this team that made them not in your contenders, not even as a dark horse?
Just never seem to get over the hump.
Yeah, I don't want to make an enemy here, but I just
you should. That's kind of the whole point of this part.
I've complimented them enough, and I've played them enough in the past to say it, and I think it could be true. I just find that they don't have enough drive.
Okay.
They
just showing up to play, have fun, and that's it.
They have the talent to be in every game. If Hughes brought replace the guys that are, because we've often played them and they've had 8 guys, 6 guys, 9 guys. If they replace the guys that are missing every game, they would have a really good chance in every division.
It's not for lack of caring by Hughes.
That's it. It's not the caring. It's more the capitalizing and beating a team down when they could beat them, rather than keep them in it and then at the
end. So they're playing Montreal Canadiens hockey, basically.
I guess you watched last night.
And I've watched every game that I've had to, and I think we can all agree there's nothing they enjoy less than beating a team by more than 1 goal.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that's kind of the case here. I feel like they'll get an early lead. They'll know they're better than the other team, but they'll kind of take their foot off the gas, and who knows, maybe they'll take a bad penalty late in the game and the other team will tie it, and there goes 1 point. But that happens 5 times a season. Next thing you know, you're in the bottom half, then you're playing a top team in the playoffs, and you just can't get through. So I find if they were to just, I'm going to say it directly, just get greedier. Get greedy. Win game 6-1. You know, just go and
put your foot on someone's throat, crush their windpipe.
Exactly. They have the guys to do it, and if they were to in a division like this, they're going to piss a lot of teams off. If they just show up that one game and juggernaut. They could be juggernaut
Yeah.
if they really had like Benchwarmers and Fury. A lot of the guys from Juggernaut play for Benchwarmers or vice versa.
Yeah.
And it's the same group
You guys
of
had good
guys.
games,
And
right?
Yeah, Furies beat us just under half the times, I'd say, over the last 5 years. And it's like 7-5 games, it's like real big, interesting hockey games. It's like against Benchwarmers, they bring it, but I don't know. I just wish they would,
give
get
that extra push.
Get
Yeah.
greedy and just,
Plus, if we're talking about guys not showing up here, I'm looking at Beaver Bait's roster. I'm seeing Sam Beauchamp, who's usually the focal point of that team,
Yes.
having 1 point right now in 5 games.
1 point in 5 games.
And then I'm looking down the roster. They have their 25 roster spots on the site are filled up now after 5 games.
25.
So
Yeah.
they have a ton of guys here with 1 game played. Jason Rouillet is leading the team I guess per expected.
Did you say Jay Reddy?
Rouillet. Jason Rouillet played for GRNR.
Okay.
He's played
Okay,
on.
yeah.
He's played on a bunch of teams.
Do they have Eric Farmer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex Farmer, Eric Farmer. So
How's Eric
Danny
doing?
Smith in nets. I mean,
That's a big-
This is a
that's a
team
big
that could
goalie.
turn it around too.
Yeah. You
If-
know
if
what?
these-
They're 1-4. Their goal differential isn't great. Their shot differential isn't great. But if a guy like Sam Beauchamp, who you brought him on Black Jackets 1 season, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen what he can
Him
do.
and his brother, yeah.
But I think Chris said it best. Sorry to cut you off, but I mean, when you have 25 guys,
5 games in, that makes
5 games in, that means people aren't showing up. You need a consistent roster, even if they're not that good. Just make them show up and build as a
Build
team.
cohesion, build chemistry.
You can't win. You can't win with different guys. And even if you do win and you do somehow make the playoffs, who's going to be eligible? What are you going to do? You're going to show up with 8 people. Then what? What's the point?
And that's exactly leads into the last team I wanted to talk about here was St. Louis Savage. They are, on the other hand, a team that usually has the same guys. They seem to be very committed. They care a lot about
They
winning,
care.
so they're not to be counted out either.
I had one of the most interesting games ever. I think it was my second game back from my knee. And when I say second game back, I'm not playing a full game.
Yeah.
Power play here and there, special situation, 0 back check, just,
So
give me
I
the
thought
ball.
that was your usual game.
We call it the Pierre
Sorry, that's my game.
the Pierre Dagenet special.
Yeah.
Power play only.
Power play, shootout, whatever you need to shot.
Yeah.
No, but they were up 2-1. Well, actually, it was a 1-1 game, and they took the lead with 40 seconds left, and then we tied it with 2 seconds left. But
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys were dejected. With
Yeah.
2 seconds left, they cared. It wasn't a loss. They didn't even lose the game. They just tied, but they cared. It hit them low that they could have moved up higher in the standings with that 2 points, and in this point, it's a team that cares. Even if they're in the middle of the pack, they're gonna find a way to get points
Yeah.
later on. And
Yeah. It's a nice division. It's there could be some surprises here. Yeah, even the 3 we just spoke about. I don't see there really being teams that seem too out of place here.
That are completely
There's
overmatched.
some
yeah.
interesting storylines that are going to develop as we move
But
on.
before we end, I guess we could say there's only one team we didn't talk about, Smoking Aces. It's a friend of the league, Andrew Casey. He
Yes.
runs that team,
Yep.
and he brings in a lot of young guys. So that's probably why they're not doing so well.
Stay out of the box, boys. Stay
yeah?
out of the box. Yeah, they're good. They're good young guys, but they got to play. From what I saw in the summer,
I see Alex Doré here. I had the pleasure of coaching against him a few times. 5 points in 4 games, only 1 goal. Usually Alex will score a goal no matter what.
Yeah.
Even
sorry to cut you off, but you look at the differential on this team shots wise. I mean, it looks like structure to me is the issue, right? When you're allowing practically the most shots and you're putting up the least, but you're saying there's talent there, that for me is just
you know what it is?
Structure.
Or what I assume that it is. It's like tryout hockey season.
yeah, exactly.
All these guys are high-level players. All the young superstars on this team are probably in the middle of tryouts.
Yeah, exactly.
If I know Andrew, they're playing a lot of Sunday games. It's going to be hard for all those guys to make all the games.
They got 23 roster spots filled
There
up.
you go.
23
Yeah,
roster
so-
spots, 5 games in.
So you can't build a cohesive unit there,
So
right?
it's normal that they're 1-4. It would just, if they get some consistency throughout, maybe just like a base for those young guys to be able to excel and score the goals they need to score to win, they could definitely make the playoffs. I don't know what they're going to do once they get there if they do, because again, these are young kids that don't have that much experience. I don't see them making a big splash, but at least they can make a run or something.
And they do have the biggest man I've ever seen play in the league on that team, Steve Raymond. I worked with him back in the day when I worked for Easton. The guy is about 6'8" and maybe 350.
Oh my god!
They're red. He wears like a jersey with like the Soviet hammer and sickle on it.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's a monster.
Sounds like an intimidating figure.
He's a big boy. Yeah,
Must
for
have,
sure.
all the young guys back. So
Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
scared of
yeah,
facing
exactly.
him on the ice.
Yeah. So they got to turn around, but they could be in there too.
All right, we're running very short on time, as in the negative of where we want it to be. So give me your picks. Who you got for winners, finalists, and winner?
I got the Mess and Juggernaut.
The Mess and Juggernaut. All right, Chris, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Wolfpack and Juggernaut.
Okay, who you got winning, Vassal?
I love both these guys so much. I'm sorry, Misha. I'm gonna have to say the mess.
All right.
Just because
Bless this mess. All
I
right.
could see Juggernaut going almost like going 13-0 and then just having a little bit of a hiccup at the end, or Jeff pulling some crazy strings and making something crazy happen and getting away with it. But Jeff, if he's put in a spot to win a championship, he's gonna do everything he can to do it. So I think the mess is gonna take it.
All right. Juggernaut?
Good.
All right, guys, I like this. We'll see where this lines up. Guys, it's been a great episode. Thanks so much for being back here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, give us your feedback at Vassal MBHL, at Chris MBHL, at MBHL_official. Give us your feedback. As always, meet all of us up when you see us playing, or send feedback via the Twitter. And beyond that, all right, let's see, guys.
You sure the camera's rolling?
It should be. Why not?
Okay, let's just restart that.
Yeah, oh god. If this happens twice, I'm out. Let's see. You had an extra week off here, Vassal.
It's 3 words. I mean,
It's not that hard. That's it from us here at the third period. Thank you very much. We will see you here next week. But until then,
good night, MBHL.
wow. Perfect. Watch it didn't record.